All right, y'all. I've been a busy bee lately, but no excuses. So, I did decide to push the date to start the pizza dough up a little bit because, sorry, I love you, Gio, but I am going to fulfill your request and I am going to serve it to you fresh, but it ain't going to be on my birthday. So, sorry about that. So, here's the deal. We're starting legit. We are dough right now. Okay, so right here, I just have 1 1/3 cups of warm water. All right, not hot, not room temperature, but warm. Okay, most of you guys are probably going to use a yeast packet because you probably don't buy jars of yeast and make dough all that often. I happen to have one, so the average packet is 2 1/4 teaspoons, and that's the recipe for a standard dough ball. A dough ball will make you one 16-inch pie if you're like a really experienced, like you really know what you're doing. You can toss it, you can stretch the dough perfect. For a beginner, you're looking at probably somewhere between like 10 to 14 inches. It's not probably going to be as thin and crispy as like a New York slice if that's what you're looking for. It does take a significant amount of skill, a little bit of luck with the dough, and then the skill of forming it, and then the skill of tossing it, and then the skill of getting it on the peel, and then the skill of sliding it onto the steel. And we're really going to put me to the test with all of that because a gimmicky pie, like a chicken franchise pie, it's a little heavier in the center. So if you still want a thin, crispy crust, but you want to put pieces of chicken on top of it, on top of sauce and cheese, it could be challenging, but there ain't no such thing as a challenge too hard. So we're going to go with 2 1/4 teaspoons here of active dry yeast. Okay, most recipes you're going to look up are going to say instant or active dry. There is a difference, and that is why we are doing something called a blooming process right now. All right, Jesus Christ, where's the teaspoon on here? The teaspoon has gone missing, I believe. So we'll just go 1, 2, the chef always just throws in a little extra. All right, so now what we're doing right now is called a blooming process. All right, you're also going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar. All right, so that is called a blooming process. Now, for all intents and purposes, you want to do it anyway, just to make sure that it actually foams up, to make sure that your yeast is alive. A lot of times people look up pizza dough recipes because they find the yeast packet in their cupboard, and it piques their interest. They go look it up online, they find the recipe, they go to use it, and then the dough comes out like shit because the yeast was dead. So you do this to kind of prove to yourself that it's a product that you can use. Also, when you're using, so if you were to use instant yeast, at this point you could just look at it and go, okay, we're good, and you can go to the step where you start adding the rest of your dry ingredients. At this point, with active dry yeast, you don't want to do that. You see there is like a granule-like texture to them, and they won't fully break down, so it kind of stunts the fermentation process. You get a really dense dough, and that's not what you want. It won't bake the right way. It won't proof the right way. It's gonna fight you from start to finish. So look, you can see the activity right now. That is active cultures. Look at that. Oh my God, it's beautiful right before our eyes. So I'm actually gonna go drink this and have a cigarette, and I'll be back and we'll have a nice little time lapse. So every time I make pizza dough, I could just keep using this. Hey man, listen, it's better than AI, right? At least I'm being honest. At least it's me. I have never so confidently come up with an idea like I just did, like real chef shit, outside, having my beer, drinking my cigarette. I was thinking about this pizza, right? Because I got another request for a dish to be made. It was like a pan-seared tuna with like a something emulsion, right? So I was thinking about the recipe, and then I was thinking, like, I'm looking past the pizza. What am I gonna do? I'm just gonna make franchise sauce and put chicken and cheese on top of the pizza. That goes against my initial reaction to not want to do gimmicky pizza. I hate gimmicky pizza. I like pizza, you know, like not Little Caesars pizza, but like, you know, good bread and sauce and cheese. Maybe I'm an old head like that. Pepperoni is acceptable. Crumbled sausage, hot cherry peppers. That's kind of where I draw the line. I hate when they completely replace the tomato sauce. Like you get a buffalo chicken pizza and there's no tomato sauce. It's buffalo sauce. It's fucking too much, right? And you get like a scampi pizza and it's like scampi sauce instead of any tomato sauce, right? So earlier tonight, we went out to dinner to a place that my family had been going to for years and years and years, La Monda's in White Plains. And we were talking about wanting to try a dish. We didn't because we wanted something else, but we didn't, like, so this menu is literally printed on paper, and I think they just change the date every year. It's been the same menu for decades, right? Decades. I'm not lying to you. This place has been around for, I think, since like 1947. I think it's 79 years old. Literally the same menu. So we looked it up, and it was called like Shrimp Luciano. So it was like a franchise, scampi, something else, or Luciano. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Because I was explaining to her like what all the other things on the menu were, because they're all just like Italian words, and I've been eating this shit forever. And I didn't know what this one was, so I looked it up, and it was like kind of like similar to like a franchise or like a piccata, but with like tomato broth in it too. And I was just outside, and I was heating up my leftovers too, and I'm thinking about this pizza and kind of giving some respect to it, and like actually putting like a real recipe on it. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. I've never been like a fucking revelation hit me. Like, oh god, if lightning hit, it would have been the greatest thing ever. At the same time, you add tomato broth to the fucking franchise sauce, reduce it, make it thinner. Oh, this pizza's gonna be fucking so good. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm a fucking genius. All right. So we got our yeast bloomed. Oh man, I'm excited now. Oh, that's some good shit thinking right there. Let's go. All right. So at this point, we are going to add a teaspoon of salt. Now we're cooking. All right, and since that's all right, that's out. I have more salt somewhere else, but this will do. There you go. Perfect. Just the way you drew it up, right? All right. So to that, you are going to want to add. So your total flour count, if you were to say mise en place it and have it just ready, is going to be 3.5 to 4 cups of flour. However, do not let that confuse you. Do not put in 3.5 cups of flour and start seeing if you need 4. You're going to need 4, including when you're making the dough ball and it's a shitty sticky mess like that slime shit your kids have, or if you bust open one of their fucking squishy toys or one of their fucking fidget whatever fucking things and it gets shit all over the place. That's what the dough starts with. That's the not pretty part. That's the part they never show you making a pizza. They show you the tossing it, they show you the turning it, they show you the kneading it, they show you the baking it, they show you the eating it. Never show the sticky shitty part in the beginning. But it's necessary, because if you just dump all the flour in right away, it'll work, but it's going to be really, really floury. You're going to need to add more water, and now you just fucked with the whole ratio of yeast and flour and sugar and salt and everything else. So you're not really kind of going with it. So I recommend generally starting with about 2 cups of flour. Of course, you want to wear a black shirt, so no matter how skilled or how much respect you have in yourself, you still look like an asshole by the end of making one dough ball. That's really important. All right, so you got 2 in there now. I think she can handle another halfie. I think she can handle 2.5. All right. So just keep a mental count of what you're doing. You know, it's really like, I know baking is like an intimidating thing. This is the one part of baking that isn't. It's like baking pizza dough because it is very forgiving. You should just know what the texture is and just kind of, but that's the recipe. All right. So I am owed about 1 cup to 1.5 cups of flour to this dough ball, but we're going to start with it right now. I like starting with a spatula because I feel like the shit just gets stuck in the whisk in the beginning, and then you're just tapping it. And again, much like wearing the black shirt to work with flour, you'll look like an asshole. And I don't know that I have any clout, let alone enough clout, to look like a double asshole in one of my first recipe videos. Right? So we're already looking like a doughy texture. Don't touch it. Don't do that. Don't do that yet. Right? Because right now it's a shitty thing to touch. You do not want to do that. But you don't want to mess with it too much because you still are going to be messing with it quite a bit. You're going to be proofing it. You're going to be grazing it, dimpling it, frying it. Because we'll be doing some foccaccia too. So probably going to make two balls. Ew. All right. So you're about 1 cup or so. 1.5 cups to 1 cup. So I'm going to start with about the 1/2 cup. And keep in mind, to the recipe, you're owed about 1/2 cup of this, of flour to this recipe, okay? You're at about 3. So now you're owed about 1/2 cup to 1 cup. But a lot of it is like to work with, you know? So look, now we're starting to get it where the flour is not sticking immediately to it. You got to find the wet spot. You got to work with it. Trust me, there's more moisture in there than you think. Don't get excited and start trying to pull it out now. All right? There, fucking Little Caesar. Pump the brakes, because look, this shit is still absorbing big time. All right, just try to work it around. Try to get up some of that dry flour. You see now it's like pasty and sticky again. So, to this recipe, also, you're going to want about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I like this to be the moment in time where you add 1 of them. Because the other tablespoon, you'll see, is going to be applied liberally at the end. To give it a nice shape, to give it a nice texture, and to make it not stick to the inside of whatever you put it in. Alright, so you got your 1 tablespoon in there. Now, I don't think anybody would be mad at you if you were to put just a dash of MSG. Really, it's a dash. What could go wrong, right? All right, we're gonna get maybe another 1/4 cup of flour. Work in that olive oil while there's still a moist texture to it. All right, now it's starting to come together. It's starting to look pretty much what you want it to kind of be looking like. At this point, it's still going to stick to your hands. Maybe put some flour on your hands, put some flour on the board, and that's where that last 3/4 of a cup to a 1/4 cup come from. right? Just, it's one of those things where, like I said, after you do it a few times, you're going to know what it's supposed to feel like. And the recipe goes out the window. I'm doing it for your benefit, but they make it as easy as humanly possible by making a packet that gives you a perfect amount to make one dough ball. So 1 packet, okay? 1 1/3 cups of water, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and a dash of MSG, if you may. All right. So, we gonna do here. We're gonna get a little workspace, right? We're not trying to make it like an old school bird night, okay? Just a dusting. Just a dusting, right? Maybe like an eighth. All right, and then I like to little, just a little. All right, let's get her out. That's a nice color, right? That's the olive oil got in there. We're looking good. We're feeling good. We're gonna go about another quarter cup of shoes, and then just kind of do like what you feel you should do. You know, just kind of roll it around in there and let it get. Because right now I can still feel that it's quite warm. It's quite warm to me, and you don't want it like warm at this phase. The water definitely wasn't too hot because there was significant blooming, so the water was a perfect temperature. But right now it can't handle a lot of my hands on it. My hands are 90 some odd degrees, right? You forget that. So right now the flour is kind of insulating it a little bit. I do just want to break it up, right? Kind of get some air in there. You want to put some air in, you want to take some air out, right? And now I can feel it's the temperature is dropping a little bit on it, so it feels nice. It definitely feels more like dough texture. It's working with us really well. Minimal sticking on the hands. Honestly, kind of like a dream scenario right now. So now at this point, honestly, it usually takes a little bit longer than Matt to tell you to punch it, knead it, you know, all this crazy shit. Is that necessary? Right? I'm not making a pizza right now. But we could if we had to. Right? So when I did all that, I start getting back to the sticky part. The fact that knowing that moisture exists is beautiful. Right? That's amazing. You want it to stick to you just a little bit. That's perfect. It's a true birthday miracle. Right, so it's going to stick just a tiny bit there and do a final little dusting, right? See, a little sticky. Honest to God, man, I couldn't have done this more perfect. I'm so happy I did a 1 take on this one. 1 take, 0 edits, pizza dough ball. For a content creator on a budget. Yeah, that's how you fucking do it. Let's go. Act like you've been here. Act like you belong. All right. So, I will tell you guys this. It's funny because I just like celebrated a perfect dough ball like I never did it before. But any pizza man, any baker will tell you Just if you just set up a camera and do a one take, something's gonna go wrong. Something ain't gonna cooperate with you. Shit never goes this smooth. That is a blessing. This is going to be incredible. Whatever comes out of it, I just know it. It's like a good dog. It's like a good puppy that doesn't eat its own shit or like chew up anything. Like you just know that motherfucker is gonna be good for life, you know? All right, so now what you want to do at this point is thank your lucky stars. Now, here's the thing. Even though I acted like it's like the first time I ever did it perfect, I have a designated dough bowl. This is my favorite. I got 2 of them. I'm probably going to make another one off cam because of how well that one went. What you want to do is, it's supposed to be a tablespoon, right? Measure where your heart on this one. Just kind of get it in there. And I like to, what I do here is I get it right to the edge and just roll it around. You can tell I've done this maybe once or twice before. Right? Just rolling, rolling, rolling on the Pyrex. Rolling, rolling. Oh shit, it just turned my birthday. Rolling on the Pyrex. Dun, 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 dun. Happy birthday to you. Birthday to you. All right, so now you got your perfect oiled up, beautiful. You want to roll it kind of tight at this point, but don't let it keep you up at night. All right, and in 2 days, this bad boy is gonna be looking cray cray. See, the thing is, if you've been here before and you got a personality and talent, you don't need to know how to edit. One taker. Minus that creepy getting banged by me angle. Look at that. Fucking RC Cola. Can you even believe that's in my fridge? All right. That's just how we do. All right, so we'll see you in a few days. That thing's gonna be fucking awesome. We're gonna use a Luciano, a Queens, New York inspired scampi Franchise broth pizza. This shit's gonna be fucking special, man. Let's go. Let's fucking go.